The world loves an underdog story about an unlikely hero overcoming impossible odds. Danny Trejo had no positive role models in his early life. He was taught that being a drug dealer was cool and profitable. It took facing the worst moment in his life for him to step off his criminal path. He's been sober for years and would rather give to than take from others. He's finally become a role model to other young fans. Keep watching to see why Danny Trejo's transformation is turning heads. The young Danny. Danny Trejo was born May 16, 1944. He had an abusive father who turned himself in after stabbing a man. He then grew up with a large family with 11 aunts and uncles on his paternal side. He was closest to one uncle named Gilbert, who always seemed to him to be the cool one. Coming home with bags of cash always seemed attractive to the young boy, even if they were obtained through illegal means. Uncle Gilbert introduced Danny to marijuana when he was only 8. It was easy to get because they could grow it in their backyard. Gilbert also introduced him to heroin. The boy became addicted to the drug and cocaine as well. That all sent him down a dangerous path. Going to jail and finding God. Danny was in and out of detention camps, juvenile halls, and penitentiaries. His first major offense was when he was 10 on an assault and battery charge. His first arrest was in 1959 when he was 15. His criminal career continued as he robbed stores with live grenades. He then went to drug dealing, even trying to sell heroin to a federal agent. His first stay in a non-juvenile prison was when he was 18. He went to jail again 3 years later, having gone to 6 prisons in a few years. He decided to earn his diploma during that time. His friends told him he should get a dry cleaning job, but it only accepted graduates, so he got to work. Danny met a few notorious figures along the way. He even saw Charles Manson, but wasn't intimidated by him, calling him a greasy, dirty, scrawny white boy. He fortunately got away from him before the murders he planned went down. Then he was put in one of the most notorious prisons in the U.S., San Quentin. It was such a serious place, he used to say there were 2 lights on the north block. The red light meant that someone was dying inside. Danny became the lightweight and welterweight boxing champion there, and in every other prison he was in. He had no trouble defending himself, but the fear of death or being put on death row never went away. He remembered a time when an inmate got stabbed in the back and the scene was met with laughter. That didn't mean he kept his head down the whole time. He threw a rock at a guard while he was in solitary confinement for 3 months in Soledad State Prison in 1968. He admits that you, quote, stop caring after a while. Danny's mindset changed when he was facing the death penalty. He was so afraid he decided to finally face God. He said he was finally done with 24 years of crime and begged the Lord to help him if he was there. He called it a complete turning point in his life, and his life of crime and debauchery turned around after that. Getting sober. Danny became sober in 1968 in a 12-step recovery program. In 1969, he joined the Western Pacific Med Corps to help those who were detoxing, and still does it today. The way his journey began was the best accident that could have ever happened to him. He was drunk and high, loaded up with booze and pills, and losing his family. He wandered into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting when he was 15. He didn't know what was going on inside and thought it might be a party, so he opened the door. He was finally able to admit he had a problem and had a supportive group to help him. Danny struggled at first and could only resist by staying around those who wouldn't drink. He'd stray if he ever got around his old friends. Now he's been sober for over 50 years and thanks God for non-alcoholic drinks he can enjoy. Becoming an actor. Danny's acting career didn't start until the 1980s. One of the men he was sponsoring asked him to meet him at a job. He was worried he might relapse into a drug addiction there. He obliged, and that happened to be the set of the 1985 film Runaway Train. Even better, someone there recognized Danny as a boxing champion at San Quentin. The director, Andrei Konchalovsky, asked him if he could be an extra. Danny said he probably could, but the next question sealed the deal. He was asked, quote, "Can you act like a convict?" And he admitted, "I'm a professional." Danny admits his life changed after that. He could work 2 days and get a paycheck larger than his father used to get for a month. He was first given $50, which was then raised to $350. His boxing coach asked him, quote, "How badly do you want to beat this guy up?" He said, "For $350 a day, give him a bat. I used to beat up people for free." It was a paltry sum for actors today, but a major one for an older man starting out. He also allegedly once said he would, quote, beat up Godzilla for $320. That willingness led to a prolific career where he's done at least 4 films a year since the 90s. He did 9 in 2002 alone. He's been the tough guy in a range of movies from Spy Kids to Machete. The latter of those films was a series first released in 2010. It was written with him in mind and grossed $44 million. The success he's had since almost feels like a dream to him. Danny was once interviewed on NPR's Fresh Air. He was asked if he minded falling into one issue many actors face, being typecast. He said he felt his roles were a fitting persona for the, quote, mean Chicano dude with tattoos. At the same time, he doesn't believe he should be defined by his past actions while still being held accountable for them. He also believes he's not the only one in prison who can be redeemed. He has returned to speak with inmates and advocates for their rights. Most of all, he supports the right of those on probation, parole, or in county jail to vote. Learning to help others. Danny was released from prison in 1969. He decided to go back to the town where he'd been a criminal. There's a mural of him there now, but that doesn't mean everyone has accepted him. He noticed an elderly woman struggling to take out her trash. He walked up to her to help. She clearly knew who he was and began yelling at him in Spanish, but he continued to help. Danny later said that moment began a desire in him to help others. He also said that every positive event in his life was, quote, a direct result of helping someone else. That was something he stressed years later on November 16, 2023, when he spoke at the Associated Students' Big Lecture at CSU. Students were anxious to ask him how he came from where he was to where he is today, and he was ready to answer. He also uses his earnings to collaborate with the nonprofit One Legacy. In addition to his acting career, he has a music label called Trejo Music. He also has 8 restaurants as of 2020, overseen by executive chef Mason Royal. The Rainflower Cauliflower Tacos of Trejo's Tacos appeared on the list of LA Times' 10 favorite recipes in 2017. Writing his memoir. Charlie Hinkson's novel The Fear mentions Danny. He's also appeared in Edward Bunker's autobiography Education of a Felon. The restaurant owner has also written and contributed to cookbooks. They include Prison Ramen, Recipes and Stories from Behind Bars, and Trejo's Tacos, Recipes and Stories from LA. He decided to publish his own memoir, Trejo, My Life of Crime, Redemption, and Hollywood, in 2021. It was co-written with his friend Donald Logue. It debuted at number 4 on the New York Times nonfiction bestseller list the week of July 10, 2021. Danny's life of going from the dangerous conflicts he played a part in to a healed and kind man is certainly a worthy subject for a book. It's enough to inspire addicts, actors, or anyone who picks it up. They can also watch the 2005 film Champion to learn more. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite Danny Trejo role? Let us know in the comments section below.